Hello, my name is Ilona. Today is Thursday, September 28th, 2023, and I'm going to do a little different than my Dutch video. First, I will look at a card reading I already did in my Dutch video about the stripes in the sky. And then I will be looking at certain areas. It will be different than the countries I actually looked at in my Dutch video. I will be looking at, I think, USA and Canada together concerning the stripes. I will look at Asia, which is of course a continent, which is large. So I'm just going to see what's the energy there. I'm going to look at Australia. And the rest of Europe. I specifically looked at the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany in my Dutch video. I will make sure that English subtitles will be available. It will take some time before it's processed by YouTube. But as soon as it is, I will add them to that. And if you want to see that. But the first card reading I did, and I don't want to forget one thing, which I thought was so interesting. Elon Musk fires X voting integrity team for undermining voting integrity. Yeah, let that sink in. So they actually are undermining the integrity while the team is called voting integrity. I'm sorry, I thought that was funny. It's like, you got one job, come on, you got one job. But anyway, we all know that that's the agenda, and they obviously were there for the agenda, and now they are, fired, so he's not working with them anymore. The first card reading I did was looking at the stripes in the sky, and this is general. If it's been taken over, who's the energy, what energy is behind it. I've looked at it, I think maybe even months ago, because to me it was taken over by the Whiteheads. It felt that way and it hasn't really changed, but I'm getting a lot of questions now, especially here in the Netherlands and also in Belgium. There are a lot of stripes in the sky, so I do understand that people want to know. And not everyone have seen those videos, or maybe they have just a different point of view and they just want to know what the cards will say about that. So I just want to take a look at that. To me it feels like the Whiteheads are still, taken over, but it's very interesting. The first card I've got was the Four of Wands, and I'm using the smaller cards because I like to use the rest of the bigger cards for my drawings on the certain areas, and then I'll of course need all my cards. So I got the smaller out one again to show you the card reading I got from my Dutch video. First we have the Four of Wands, then we have the Two of Pentacles as the central card. We've got the Judgment card in the past. We've got the Five of Wands. This is interesting, underneath the Two of Pentacles. And for the future, we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine and the Seven of Pentacles. So to me, it feels like most of it has been taken over, but a very small part. I'm still sure there's still some fighting going on, but it's really now about balancing. I don't think the dark energies have that power anymore. Most of the equipment they needed is being taken away. Most of the stuff they needed came from the Ukraine as well, at least here in Europe. I'm sure in other parts in the world, other parts were used for that, but I don't think they have that kind of pull anymore to get their hands on it. So I see that the stripes, to me, it feels like it's about balancing things. So the stripes have multiple functions, so to speak. First of all, I think a lot of it is now healing, because we've been poisoned for years. So it's now being used for healing. It was very interesting, especially if I looked at the different countries in the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. Especially in Germany, a lot of healing is put in those stripes. Of course, see if it resonates with you or not. I do see reactions under my videos from that time when I was talking about stripes in sky, and I've seen it for my life. I think there's some things I saw that people were talking that they actually look at the quality of the rain, and it actually is getting better. So a lot of the stuff is gone now, and I think that's a sign of the Whiteheads taking over. So it's healing. It helps us actually to heal, and that can lead to detox, complaints. Your body is going to react to it. It's also possible if people see the stripes and see them as negative, that their body is going to respond to that as well, obviously. Placebo, nocebo effect. And I also believe it's used to cover up things if something's happening in disguise. So sometimes they close it off to show, not to show what's going on there. And it's also to show people that this has been going on. And a lot of people still don't believe in the stripes in the sky, but because there are so many stripes in the sky now, sometimes ridiculous forms that you're like, it's very difficult for people to deny. And it's important that people get the entire picture of what's been going on, how we have been poisoned by air, water, food. So all these things need to come out. But to me, it feels like it's been taken over already. It's helping for humanity to become independent, but it will take time. And I think it will take time before the truth about that is coming out, because people need to see first the horrible things connected to it, because otherwise people are not going to realize how we have been manipulated at such a level. And it's important to know. If you truly want to heal, you need to know what's been going on. And of course, it's up to each and every one of us how we're going to handle this information. But it needs to come out. It needs to be obvious. People need to start seeing it. So I don't see it as negative anymore. So that's the thing I got for the stripes in the sky. Now I want to take a look at certain countries or certain areas for the stripes. So first I want to take a look at the USA and Canada. I'll just kind of put them together, just see what the energy is for the stripes in the sky there. So first USA, Canada. Let's see. We've got the Empress. We have the Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Empress, Temperance, and the Ten of Pentacles. These are beautiful cards. This is about healing. I think, especially in the area of Canada and the USA, what they're bringing there, the stripes in the sky, if you see them if you're living in that area, it's really to heal. But you can still respond to it. So your body can still respond with detox, complaints. You may feel sick suddenly. That's when, especially when you've been poisoned for so long and you get something healing in your body is finally going to detox, and that will lead to all kinds of things. So do not be afraid of that. But it's about balance. It's the beautiful Empress energy and temperance. So this is all about bringing balance and new stability. So for the USA and Canada, I do not see anything happening in the stripes that could be considered negative in a way. But like I said, that's how I see it. Always see what resonates with you. I also want to take a look at Asia. We're going to look at it. That's of course a humongous continent, so we'll see what the cards will have to say. Asia. We've got the Nine of Wands. We've got the Ten of Swords. And we also have the Empress. So things are changing, but they're still, I think, some areas in Asia where they're still using it. They're trying to shut it down. So, of course, I can't just say where, but I think it's not a big area, but there are some countries and some parts of that countries in Asia that may still get some that is still left. Apparently, they do have some stashes still left, but it's not going to be much. They don't have the equipment anymore to really take it over entire countries anymore. So, but it's being shut down, so a new energy can come in. But it's still, the old is still some parts in Asia that still has that old energy, still has that influence, the dark influence. But it's working, the white hats are working to shut it down completely. So in Asia, there's still some parts that could be affected by it, by the negative side of the stripes. I also wanted to take a look at Australia. Australia, what is the energy for Australian stripes in the sky? We've got the Ten of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups and we have the Ace of Swords. And I was looking at the Ace of Wands as well. So a lot of things are changing in Australia for the better. I don't think anything is happening concerning stripes in the sky that could be still in a negative energy or bringing negativity. I think really the energy is changing there. Much more connection is happening. I see with the Ace of Swords is also opening up for truths to come out. So I think the stripes there are healing and helping people, supporting them in a way. So in Australia, I don't see anything happening in a negative way. The last thing I just want to take a look at the rest of Europe. Of course, I looked at the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. Now I just want to take the rest of Europe, which again is a humongous area. But I just want to take a look. The rest of Europe. We've got some areas that still have some. Yes. 5 of Swords, 2 of Swords and the Chariot. Moving away from that as well. So again, there's still some areas. I would have to specifically look at the area, but I think it's again, it's not the biggest part of Europe, I think, has been taking care of these tribes, but still some small part still have some influence going on there. But they are moving away from that. Again, the process of moving away from it, this is a moving card, the Chariot. Taking back control is happening as we speak. So again, I don't think the influences are going to be humongous in that area. And I think people need to realize that. To me, at least, it seems like it's been taking over. And if you see it, of course, if you do feel you're affected, you can always you support yourself with supplements. There are a lot of people that know a lot more about that. But really, it's about raising your frequency, because this is what this is about. It's about frequency. It's about stepping into your own power and understanding your own strength. And I also wanted to take a look at 5G. I already did the card reading in my Dutch video, and this is a general reading, so this is worldwide. I also looked at this 5G quite some time ago, and again, I felt like it's already been taken over, most of it by the whiteheads. Of course, see if it resonates with you or not. Make your own decision about that. To me, it feels it has been taken over. The cards I've got was the 2 of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords. We have the Chariot. In the past, we have the Knight of Wands. Underneath the Knight of Swords, we've got the Knight of Pentacles for the future and the Wheel of Fortune. So things are moving along according to plan. This is really a planner, the Knight of Pentacles. I believe that the whiteheads have taken over most of the 5G, but we are still going to hear stories about 5G because people need to understand how much we've been manipulated. So it wouldn't surprise me if we're going to see things, people falling, because of the 5G being activated. We're going to hear more about that because people need to hear that that was possible. I don't believe it's still happening now. Maybe very small part, but I don't see that really. I do believe they've taken over most of it. And I believe it will be used ultimately to heal again, because it's a frequency. You can also send healing frequencies, bring back balance. So everything can be used in a good way, and it's important to understand, because there are a lot of people are like, oh, those stripes are horrible, and of course 5G is horrible, but it's really the intention and the energy behind it that makes it horrible, just like with symbols. Symbol is really a symbol, and there are things you can do with it, and that intention will create the effect. And I think it's very important that we're going to hear about this manipulating, the levels of manipulations. People really need to understand, because it will bring us closer to who we are. We are energy beings, spiritual beings in a human experience. And it's very important for us to realize things work through energy, through frequencies. That's why this can have such an effect on us if it's used in a bad way. And the more we are in contact with our own frequency, the less we can be manipulated by outside forces. So this is about waking up to the other side of humanity, to our strength. And so this is part. It wouldn't surprise me if we're going to hear some stories, horrible stories about 5G. That's going to be how awful it is. We're going to see that ultimately in the media as well. Things are coming out, but it's necessary for people to just understand the manipulation, and that we are manipulated by frequency. We could have been for a long time, we have been, and that it will ultimately lead to, understanding that we are frequencies, we are energies, we are spiritual beings. And that will bring in new energies, new understanding, and we will look at life completely differently and at ourselves. that is part of the Great Awakening. So I see the 5G has taken over, but we're going to hear a lot of stories about that, just like with the stripes in the sky. People need to understand what has happened. That doesn't mean it's still happening. But if you would come out immediately, and I don't think that's a wise thing to do right now, yeah, it's all taken over, nothing to worry about, you're going to miss a lot of awareness or giving people the opportunity to become aware of what's going on, how frequencies work, how manipulation work, because ultimately, if you understand that, you understand yourself much, much more. And we need to get to that spiritual part, at least that's I think is the emphasis. If we understand how to work with our energies and how to step into our own strength, we cannot be manipulated by anything outside of ourselves. And that will be the most powerful thing we can do. So this is all part of that awareness of understanding who we truly are. I'd like to leave it at this. Hope to see another video. Bye.